Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campea, and this video is a special one based on a topic submitted by one of our viewers. And the topic submitted today comes to us from Angela Dashner, who writes in, "Thanks for all you and Rob do. I have been with you since the AMC days, and you always make me smile." Thank you so much for that, Angela. It's good to have you along. What is your number one fantasy film? For me, the Lord of the Rings trilogy is my favorite because Jackson captured the book so well and made something I love come to life on the screen. All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Angela. And you know what? I'm not going to bury the lead here. I'll just tell you right off the top. The Lord of the Rings films are also my all-time favorite fantasy films. But, unlike you a little bit, it's not because, at least not specifically because, he captured the spirit of the books. And he did capture the spirit of the books. The funny thing is, though, is that even though Lord of the Rings, was nominated for so many Academy Awards and won so many Academy Awards, including Best Picture for Return of the King, that film alone won 11 Academy Awards. By the way, no film in cinematic history has ever won more Academy Awards than Lord of the Rings Return of the King. There's a little bit of trivia there for you. But even though it had massive popularity, they actually had its critics saying that they left too much stuff out of the books. Examples like Tom Bombadil and whatnot. Now, I don't agree with those criticisms, but they're there. And as a matter of fact, all the glorious action and visual effects and the costumes and the fantasy, those also aren't reasons why the Lord of the Rings films are my number one favorite fantasy films of all time. See, almost all fantasy films can have some great action, great visual effects, great costuming. I mean, a lot of even very bad fantasy films can have all those. So while all that great stuff is in the Lord of the Rings films, that isn't why it's my favorite fantasy series. You see, for me personally, the main reason the Lord of the Rings films are my all-time favorite fantasy films really comes down to one thing, and that is the relatability of the movies. Now, I understand that sounds kind of ridiculous. John, it's about little hobbits with furry feet running around with magical wings and flying dragons. Yeah, I get it. How can you say it's relatable? Because when you get past all the pure fantasy elements, which even the worst fantasy movies can have, you get down to things that touch us all on very human levels. Because I would propose that when you boil down all the other stuff, what it really comes down to is that the essence of Lord of the Rings are about our human experiences. It's about fellowship. It's about friendship. It's about love. It's about belonging. It's about hope, not just for the now, but also hope for the future. It's about loyalty and it's about courage. It's about standing up in the face of evil when even everything seems dark and everything is insurmountable odds. These are all things that are very translatable from the fantasy to our everyday experience and maybe even our own individual experiences. Again, it's not the specifics. I don't have Gollum crawling around here, but it's the general themes of the story that touch our hearts and touch us with where we really are. And when you make that your foundation, and then you layer on top of that brilliant action, brilliant fantasy, brilliant fairy tales brought to life with visual effects, with orcs fighting elves, and when you can combine all of that, you come up with something really special. And so at the end of the day, it's the humanity of Lord of the Rings that really makes it truly special to me as an individual viewer. But you know what? That's the great thing about movies is everybody will find something special that is unique to them. That just happens to be why I love these films so much. So I'm glad you love them too. Hey, listen guys, don't forget, the John Campea Show is a 2 to 2.5 hour live show every day on the John Campea Show, Monday through Friday. I hope you guys will want to come along and join us sometime for that as well. Click on the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. That'll do it for me for now, guys. My name is John Campea, and until next time, bye-bye.